So the traditional grip, um, I've heard it sometimes called the jazz grip and other things, and because you see a lot of jazz drummers use it, but it really comes from traditional marching discipline. And the reason is if, well, the stick grip looks like this, right? And you see my drum angled a little bit towards you. That's to accommodate this angle in my stick. But originally the grip was to accommodate the angle of the drum, because if you put a strap around this drum and then you hook it around your shoulder like they used to many years ago, this drum would hang at a more severe angle than this. And so if that drum was at this angle, like say where my stick is the head, and I took this with a match grip and I started to play this, my arm's going to be getting pretty tired pretty quickly because I'm basically holding it straight out. And so if I keep my stick in the same spot and go to this traditional grip, you see that my arm gets to hang straight down on my side. So that was kind of where it started. But why it still exists, because we can put the drum in any angle we want, is because there's a few things that are good about it. There's a greater dynamic range, I find, because the stick grip works in this whole range of motion. And when I'm down at this point of the range of motion, I've got this whole tip working, hitting the drum head for a pretty big sound. I can get big rim shots, right? Or I can take that same thing and move it up here. Let's take a little 1-inch stroke and then rotate that up into this position and see how the sound changes. So I've got that's pretty quiet already, a little 1-inch stroke. But I can take that up into this motion and get it even quieter. And for jazz drumming, where the left hand is comping or accompanying, that's really handy to have. It also gives you that greater range of motion when you're playing in a funk or blues shuffle environment where you have little ghost notes going on and then a big backbeat. So it's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. So remember, we had a fulcrum in this hand, or a pivot point where the stick moved back and forth. And that's in the match grip. So the same thing happens here. It's about the same part of this place of the stick, but a different place of the hand. This time it goes between the thumb and the first finger, that little space between those guys, and you just kind of grab on, not too tightly, gently, like you're holding an egg between those fingers or something. And then that's the fulcrum, where the stick's going to move for you, right? We want to start to develop a different wrist motion, too, when you use this stick than the match grip. The match grip was that bye-bye motion. Here we've got a rotary motion. So you can practice that by just holding that stick, keeping your thumb even with your hand, and making single strokes. But now we want more finesse than that. So we need some control fingers on this stick. We're going to bring these fingers in to start working with this stick. And the ring finger supports the stick. The pinky finger supports the ring finger. There's a couple of schools of thought of where the stick should go. I see a lot of really good drummers with the stick between the first and second knuckle of the ring finger. And as this finger is going to work with the stick, lifting it up, I think you want a longer lever. I was originally taught that the stick goes between this first knuckle and the end of the finger, and that makes for a longer lever. I can move the stick greater here than I can if it's here, right? Because I have the shorter lever there. So it sits there between the first knuckle and the end of the finger, and then the index finger comes and lays down with the first knuckle over the top of the stick. These fingers are going to work in tandem a lot to work to control the bounce of the stick. We have a lot of things we can do with this grip. By the way, this finger doesn't do anything really in this position. Occasionally, when you get way over in this position, it becomes a control finger. But generally, these guys are moving in and out, controlling the stick. Well, there's a lot to be done with finger technique here, but we're just going to get the grip together today. So in future episodes, we can talk about what the fingers do and how they do it. So the thumb, sometimes people call this the intelligent thumb when you play singles. It's kind of akin to the French grip, where I said some people play, German Symphony grip. Then they go to play some singles, they go there. A lot of times people use these control fingers. They play a bunch of, double strokes or whatever they might be doing, and they go for singles, and they use his thumb. Right? So the thumb and these index fingers work in two different ways just like this, the match grip works in two different ways, palm down and thumb up. And that's basically what the grip looks like. Like I said, there's a bunch to be done with finger technique and how to do that. But if you can just get your fingers and hand working in this position, your wrist moving in that position, and basically with both these grips, you want to be able to let the stick bounce when it hits. So you notice when I hit with this traditional grip, the fingers relax out and let the stick bounce. Same thing here, when I hit down here with a match grip, these fingers open up to allow the stick to bounce. That's going to give me the bounce that I can deal with to make double strokes, or just to get good tone, as I was saying. So remember, in both hands, we got control fingers and a fulcrum, and we got the stop over here, and we got this space that we want to keep open in the match grip. All right, good luck, and thanks for watching.